There's a crazy AI theory. So you know that lo-fi girl on YouTube?
Yeah.
So there's whole lore about this now. So it's the one where you want to lock in and study. So you search up lo-fi and there's a girl in like a green pullover and she's writing tests and there's a cat behind her, right?
Yeah.
So there's a theory going on and how she went missing recently. So
Oh, I think I heard a little bit.
So what happens is nobody in the community knows what happens to her or like where she went, right? But in back of her window, there's like a building with there's like a blue light that flickers.
Yeah.
And supposedly that's Morse code for something. So a lot of people in the community were putting random numbers in the chat and then deleting it, so nobody knows what it was. But recently, the scene on that YouTube video changed. So it wasn't her writing with a cat behind her no more. It was the blue room. It was the blue room with only a door, and that was it. So the community's like, what does this symbolize? And no one knows where she went or what she's doing right now. But the whole theory is like, is this the end because she got kidnapped? Is this the end of the sleeping stream?
No, but I heard the continuation.
Oh, what was the
I actually know what happened.
Wait, what?
So what happened, there's a lo-fi boy now.
Oh, so it's gonna be a boy.
There's a lo-fi boy. And the boy is in a blue room and he has a dog. He has a puppy.
That whole thing was lo-fi.
Lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming occurs when you are aware that you are having a dream. Most people do not have lucid dreams on a regular basis, but according to some research, 55% of people have them at least once in their lifetime. With practice, you may be able to control a lucid dream. This can help you gain control over your dreams, particularly if you suffer from repeated dreams or nightmares. Nightmares are dreams that are frightening or unsettling. Themes in dreams vary greatly from person to person, but common ones include being chased, falling, or feeling lost or trapped. People of all ages experience nightmares. However, nightmares are more common among youngsters, particularly those under the age of 10. Girls are more prone to nightmares than boys. Nightmares can become an issue if they continue to disrupt your sleep cycle. This can cause insomnia and difficulties concentrating.
Thank God there was nothing about wet dreams.
Camera.
Okay, that was like almost as if he was waiting for that thing to come in there at that point. Okay, somebody needs to check their spelling. Start 5 billion light years away explodes. I think you mean star. But proofreading is very important.
This is proof that this is influenced by demons. You gotta watch to the end for the full context.
What are your pronouns?
He, they.
He, they. And they means?
They.
So could you give me like a little bit of a like description of like, because I don't understand what that means.
There's he, she, and there's they. I'm they.
And so like you're them?
Yep.
And so like are you multiple people?
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Could you explain that to me?
No. Too much work. But I am a legion. I am legion. I am many. I am the one who is many.
When a man who was tormented by demons came to Jesus, Jesus asked him to identify himself. The demon responded to Jesus that his name was Legion because there were many demons inside of the man. Jesus then cast those demons out and they went into the pigs, and the man was set free and filled with joy.
Yep, that's absolute truth. Legion. That is a real thing. Look at those. Oh. Ah, that's cute.
I wonder how, I wonder.
Oh, that's so nice.
Little Rookie. That husky's like, get away from me.
Lincoln, he's gonna bite you, bro. He's gonna bite you, bro.
The entire country was just gaslit. Let me explain. Let me start by saying the ones on here that are attacking the people who had predictions for the 8th, I would say y'all are way, way worse than they are. At least they use logic, rationality, and their brain. We're gonna go through a lot of stuff. Notice his eclipse thing though. 33.3 million at 33,000 reshares. Like I said in my videos, it was a time to repent and y'all failed. But what bothers me the most is the massive gaslighting done by the people who run America. The news literally said that there's going to be an earthquake on the 8th. And not just this, but Saturday Night Live ran a skit about an earthquake being on the 8th.
And it's not over yet because we've got the eclipse earthquake coming up on Monday. As Deborah Ross was telling us, it's going to be a transformative experience.
The news was the one telling you to get food, gas, National Guard was going to be there, and all this other stuff.
Us for an earthquake. Check out SNL last night.
What is this little fool talking about? To do a little shimmy shake and try to steal my thunder? Well, what you gonna do when the solar eclipse runs wild on you? You know what? Colin's right, Eclipse. We shouldn't be fighting. We should team up. An earthquake during an eclipse?
And do y'all remember this?
Okay, so we've all been talking about the eclipse happening on April 8th, right? But does anybody remember in 2017 when they said that an eclipse like this would not happen again in our lifetime? Like, I can't remember what the years were, but tell me I'm not the only one that remembers this.
And on top of all of this, we had NASA warning people not to take videos on their phone camera. I wonder why. Wait, I've seen a lot of things on here. That's not the devil's comet, it was rain. And there are people who recorded multiple portals in the sky. And of course we had these black blurs flying through the screens, and people said, oh no, there are airplanes. Here's the problem, if there's an airplane, you would only see it in your direct area. People all across the world or all across the United States would not see a plane in front of the sun by your area. Just you would. Here's a different one in a completely different state. And I saw a video that had 2 of them going by. They were everywhere. Then Research the Earth put this out a day or 2 or a day before the eclipse. Huh. I said in every single one of my videos and lives that nothing would happen on the 8th. Because historically, we see from the evidence that nothing ever happens right when it happens. 1811 was 3 months later. The earthquakes were 4 months. But since y'all are grouping everybody together, especially the ones that just gave you real factual historical evidence, I'm gonna stand up for them and say, y'all are doomed. You will follow the masses wherever they go, even when it's off a cliff. Taiwan, China, a different place in China, Indonesia, and another 6 in Indonesia. There's been big earthquakes all day, and guess what? It's not slowing down. And for the people poking the Christians or even poking at God for saying it's the end times, just know it's God himself that draws in the sky, puts the sun, the moon, the stars, and the wandering stars in the sky, and that's exactly who you're poking at. Y'all better repent. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and I will repay.
Yep. I like the map that he was using there on that picture. It's a good map.
It took me 27 years to realize this about The Simpsons. So we all watched The Simpsons growing up. But didn't you ever realize something weird about the show? Isn't it kind of odd that this series is now in its 35th season, yet none of the characters seem to have aged or grown up over time? Interestingly, there's a reasonable explanation for this, but it's not the one you're hoping for. In Season 4, Episode 3, Homer asks God about the essence of life. At the end of the episode, God hints that the answer will be revealed after death. Homer expresses that he can't wait until then, to which God humorously answers, "You can't wait 6 months?" And 6 months later, Bart wanted to prank Homer with this beer can, which causes this accident in the house. Since that moment, Homer has not awakened from his coma, and the entire storyline of The Simpsons is a figment of his imagination. This perfectly aligns with God's prediction about Homer's demise, which unfolded just like he foretold.
America, you saying you're ready, right? What are you going to do when the internet goes down? You are aware that a couple nights ago, 911 was not working in like 5 or 6 states in America, right? Someone was saying that is because someone cut the cords, guys. Now you are aware that the internet, hear me out, the internet is connected throughout the world through these underwater sea cables, correct?
Yeah.
Don't you think that in the event of a W3, someone might cut that cord to cut off communication from all of the world? My question is, in that event, what are you going to do? What will you do if this is the type of thing that they do? Let's say it was infrastructure, internet, electricity, highways. You see the bridges being compromised, things like that. Because I hope you are aware that when stuff like this happens, truck drivers don't drive anymore. We stay home just like you guys. And when truck drivers don't drive anymore,
nothing gets anywhere.
What happens to the stores? So everyone who's saying they're ready, bring it on. Are you really ready? Is your family really prepared for what could actually happen when someone tries to fight dirty? I'm out.
Most of our internet is, at least from North America over to the European continent and the Asian continent, that is all done mostly through underwater cabling and not satellites. I know that satellites don't provide true service, if there are even satellites up there. Back in 2015, I drove from Seattle, Washington to Missouri, and I went across Highway 90 and through the east border of Idaho, all the way down through Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota. I had no cell service whatsoever. And I was with, I believe, Sprint at the time. And I know that their cell service coverage was horrible at the time, but I had none. And I even had times, had a hard time getting emergency service cell signals. So most of our internet is through underwater cabling and land-based cabling. And your GPS is exactly that. Think about what GPS stands for. Ground Positioning Satellite, which is ground positioning. And then the S is not really satellite. That's what they tell you. It's really system. It's ground positioning system. And it's all based on towers triangulating your signal within 3 different towers at all times. It is not coming from satellites in the sky.
Maybe Kanye wasn't lying when he said it. Maybe he was telling the truth.
My mama was sacrificed. You understand? Yeah. Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son. Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize.
Have you heard the whole situation with Gilly and his son? It's crazy because in this video, you can feel the agony radiating off of this man. Mind you, he's signing a $100 million contract, and just look at how unhappy he is. Look at what he does when the song says sacrifice. Turns away. And then this man's like shaking it off. And look at him. Gonna be rich forever. Just wait for him to sign it. Wiping his tears.
Oh my God, Islam is the wrong religion.
Stop it, brother. Why'd you say something like
Now I've got one here for you that I'm not quite sure what to make out of yet, so let's watch it together.
Did you know you were going to die after taking all those pills on the plane? No? The stories of what happened on the plane that night seem very frantic and mysterious. Can you tell us what happened on the plane that night? You remember?
That boy just sold his soul, and you could tell he felt like he was caving into some morals that he was compromising.
The cops, the police were following you that night. I believe they said that they were following your plane. I know that people have said you could have been locked up for over 20 years with all the illegal stuff you had on the plane. Do you regret taking those pills that night? Did you take the pills knowing you were going to die, or did you take them to try to cover up the amount of drugs that were on the plane? You didn't think?
Russian.
Whoa, that was intense. And now that I've watched it, that seems like it might be some type of a legitimate spirit box or talk box to communicate with spirits, which, from what I've been told, communicating with spirits is communicating with demons. And so, you know, and the thing is if they are demons, they can disguise themselves to look like human beings, and especially people that you're familiar with or family. So anyway, that was weird.
Are y'all paying attention? Do you see this behind me? Are y'all paying attention? Do you see this behind me? Russian warships are now entering the Red Sea, but that's not all. Do y'all remember when I just showed you that Assad welcomed Putin to build bases in Syria, but more specifically in the eastern Golan Heights, the 1/3 of the region that Syria claimed? Any military analyst that's watching this situation knew it was a bad omen when Putin put a base right here. Well, now Russia is claiming that all of Golan Heights belongs to Syria, and they are trying to push out, allegedly, the IDF and the other groups. At the same exact time, they have all these ships in the Red Sea. Don't forget, we still have Eisenhower in the Red Sea. Now, with all this going on, I want to put you in remembrance of the dream that God gave me about this exact situation in September of 2022. It was one of my first videos, and I posted it in December of 2022. And everything I'm about to say in this video was unheard of at the time. Everyone thought the Russian thing was going to blow over, especially not get to the Middle East.
And I had another dream. I saw very vividly, I saw a white horse, and it was holding, like a Iranian type blade. I googled it and found it. This was a sword the horse was holding. I heard the voice of God, and he told me that US and NATO were the horse. The white horse was given a bow and crown, and he went forth to conquer. After I saw the horse, I heard God, I saw the sword, I saw the horse, I saw it midair, and it was going right towards Russia. After that, the still voice told me that Russia was going to attack Israel.
Now, seeing how all this stuff is transpiring in Golan Heights, don't forget, Benjamin Netanyahu made Trump Heights, a place in memory of Donald Trump. I find that a really odd coincidence.
Yeah.
And of course, all this stuff is transpiring right before the eclipse. Does it mean anything? I don't know. To watch the whole video is pinned on my page.
Well, you know,
my boyfriend,
as of right now, it's hard to say if it means anything, because we're well past April 8th. So, but that is still very interesting nonetheless. Leave your comments below and let me know what you think about these videos. And if you haven't, like and subscribe. You'll appreciate it, and you'll thank yourself later.
friend's presentation for tomorrow isn't ready yet. He didn't know what to do. I asked him to check out Prezi AI. You just have to describe.
So I just had something really scary happen, and I don't know if this lady is telling the truth. If she is, I think that people need to listen to it and maybe look into it. If she's not telling the truth, then it's just something crazy. So about 10 minutes ago, my boyfriend and I are leaving my apartment complex in his truck. And at the same time that we're leaving, we see a lady driving in, and we look over and she's taking pictures of us. So my boyfriend's the type of guy where he's not just gonna be like, that was weird. So he instantly goes in reverse and she takes off. So she's driving down the complex, and then we're following her and she parks. So he's like, hey, it was a girl, so you get out and ask her why she was taking pictures. So I'm like, okay. So I go right up to her window and I knock on it and I go, roll your window down. And she's going, no. And I'm like, roll your window down. And she's like, no. So after about 4 times of asking her, she finally cracks it, and I go, can you roll your window down? So she rolls it down, and I go, were you taking pictures of us? And immediately she's like, no, this is what's going on. And she grabs her phone and she's like shaking, like trembling. You can't even look at her phone, she's shaking so much. So she goes, I'm being stalked and followed, and she pulls out her phone and she starts showing me her camera roll, and her whole camera roll is like zoomed in pictures of like random cars. And she goes, the elite sent people after me. She's like, sent people after me. She goes, I was on trial for O.J. Simpson, and she starts showing me pictures in a courtroom, zoomed in pictures of O.J. Simpson. Her passenger seat has piles of like documents, like redacted like statements and stuff like that, like court documents, pictures of his glove, like all of this stuff. She shows me a Zoom call screenshot of.
Well, the O.J. Simpson trial happened back before cell phones were really big, but if this is somebody who, well, let's listen to the rest of what she has to say, but so far it's seeming a little strange.
Of her talking to like random men And she straight up is like, they sent people to hunt me down and like kill me. She's like, the Illuminati is real. She's like, you're young, you probably know the Illuminati is real. She's like, no one's believing me. Everybody that I tell thinks I'm crazy. And she's like, no one believes me. And she's like, and I need help. And I was just like, I don't know what to say, because I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And she basically just went on for another 5 minutes straight. I was standing at her window and my boyfriend was watching me like 20 feet away, and she just kept going and going and showing me pictures and like documents and books and like passes to get into courthouses and like all of this shit. And she literally was just crying about how she's like terrified to like even leave her house. And then so I was like, do you live in here, like in the complex that I live in? And she just goes like, sometimes. And then I asked her too, I'm like, your car is like a driver car, like you have a number on the back of it and it's like a really nice like blacked out SUV, like is this your car? And she goes, she like insinuated that she was driving it just like because she was driving it, so I'm assuming she rented it or something so that she didn't have to drive her normal car, so she was like more hidden. So I didn't get her name. I didn't get any more information than what she told me. She told me a lot of shit about the court case, about the OJ Simpson thing. She told me a ton of stuff about stuff that's been happening to her, and like I don't know if I should say all of it because I don't want to like make it worse for her if this goes viral or something, but I just thought I'd share it on here. Maybe someone knows something about it, or if you guys have any thoughts about it, or if like maybe people can look into it, something like that. I don't know.
Horrible reaction with the space bar and my mouse pointer with this stupid TikTok for desktop, which is really just a browser version, and it gets so unresponsive so quickly. Anyway, well, that was a hell of a story right there from that young lady. Who's to say? I mean, I do know that targeted individuals do exist, and those are people that are targeted by these different factions and groups, and they can even do things like skull to voice or voice to skull, which is where they can transmit, I believe that was gunshots. All right, well, that video ended with a bang, one personally from me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you stuck around this long, thank you for sticking around, and also like and subscribe. And if you have friends or people you know that like this kind of content, please share it and forward it to them. Anyway, take care, and until the next time we get one together, remember, God loves you, and so does Jesus.